Hello and welcome to Sorry Went Viral, all about the stories that have been setting social media alight and the people behind these popular posts. I'm Tim.
And I'm Hannah. Great to have you with us for this week's podcast.
Let's start again, as we always do, with what's gone viral. And the first one, you may have seen these stories on Twitter and actually in the media as well this week about this awful story of people stuck on a train from London to Edinburgh that ended up being cancelled at Preston. Everyone being turfed out and having to get taxis from Preston to Edinburgh. There was a couple of posts that went viral, but the one that was related to this, but the one that I really liked and the one that kind of moved me the most was this awful one about the kids, 50 12-year-olds being stuck in Preston.
I mean, it's so absurd, isn't it? I mean, we're almost now kind of like just used to there being kind of like rail delays and, whatever it is, strikes and things being out of action. And you just sort of think, I mean, you can't really get much worse, can you, than presumably after a school trip or something like that, having 50 12-year-olds stranded, and you can't, shove them all in a taxi, obviously, can you? So yeah, anyway, you tell us about how this all unfolded, and I mean, we're shaming here, naming and shaming Avanti West. This is the Avanti West line, isn't it?
Yeah, Avanti West Coast. Yeah, so I mean, what happens normally? Because some of the users were saying apparently it's not too uncommon for this to happen.
Right.
Is that so? You get turfed out of your train, and you get and they say, right, we'll pay for a taxi to take you to Edinburgh, which is fine if it's me or you. But if you've got 50 12-year-olds, you can't put them into taxis on their own. So what happened, the teacher of this school, it's Greenfields High School in Cumbernauld in North Lanarkshire, I should say, he tweeted Avanti West Coast, the guy's Mr. Schooler, and said...
Good name for a teacher.
Very true. Very politely and frankly better than I would do if I'd 50 kids at 10 o'clock at night being stuck. Basically saying, we've been here waiting for 4 hours, can't get home, can't send kids on taxis, we're stuck here, what do we do?
Yeah.
And I think this tweet got seen by about 3 million times, got seen 3 million times by people empathising and obviously angry at the situation.
You can just imagine the Avanti West Coast PR team going, oh my God, what are we going to do? We've got to fix this somehow.
I know.
But the lovely bit about it, though, of course, is not only how Avanti West Coast eventually responded, but just how the community around them, around Preston rail station. You tell us about this. I just think it's lovely.
Yeah, what's really lovely is how the locals helped, not just this group of school children, but lots of passengers who were stranded. But in this case, we should give a shout out to Mix Hut in Preston. What happened? They took these kids, obviously starving. It's now 9 o'clock at night, and they go to the local chippy. And what happens? They don't have enough chips for everyone, so they make some calls, get more potatoes in, serve all these 50 kids and the teachers chips, give them a discount rate on all this food as well, leave them all happy, and then in that time, thankfully, one of the teachers managed to source a local coach firm to get a coach to drive them back to North Lanarkshire.
So we don't even know if Avanti West Coast actually kind of came to the rescue in the end.
No, they didn't. No, Avanti didn't.
Oh, wow.
I think they did apologise. They have apologised privately for what happened. But what, it's just, it's all these local businesses helping out these kids who documented their journey. I mean, we can't unfortunately share the photos of the kids who are looking pretty happy with their chips because because they haven't got permission from the parents for the photos. But they are very happy. All got home. They got home at 2:30 in the morning,
and presumably on a school night as well. So I mean, 2:30. I mean, goodness me. I hope I don't know. Maybe they had a bit of an easy go and the next day back in school again.
They did get a day off school.
Realised that they suddenly were like viral phenomenons as well. Well done them. But yeah, it goes to show how lovely Twitter, can be as well. Just in terms of the fact that not only was the local community in Preston hugely supportive and sort of rallied round, but it was reflected then on social media as well. And it was like, shout out to Mix Hut, shout out to this coach company, all the rest of it. So, you know, there's a bit of a theme going through this week's podcast, but it's nice to see that there's some good that can come out of X or Twitter, even though I've come off it now. But, you know, maybe, just maybe, I might be encouraged to get back on it, especially with stories like the following one. So this is about a lost walking stick. So Mike Parker tweeted, he said, Aberystwyth, help. Just got a train and left my walking stick on the platform at the station. It was my granddad's, huge sentimental value. If anyone's in town and could get it, let me know. I'd be so grateful. To which a woman called Amelia replied to Mike and said, I'll go and have a look now, Mike, and come back to you. I'm only 2 minutes away. Lovely.
Amazing.
Well done, Amelia. So there's this whole kind of thread conversation going on between Mike and Amelia. And then she responded saying, Croeso, I've got it safe and sound. The power of Twitter, eh? And Mike is saying, like, oh, mate, I'm so grateful. Diolch, diolch, which is thank you in Welsh. And it's just absolutely lovely. And loads of people retweeted their conversation as well. So one guy called Rodri said, despite the extraordinary lengths Elon Musk is going to in order to make this place a total shithole, it does show brilliance and is still capable of producing moments of beauty. Well said, Rodri. And it's moments like that that make you think, oh, maybe I'll just reactivate that account again. Who knows? But yeah, another example of the power of social media, of X.
Indeed. What I loved is Mike later posted a photo of both him and Amelia with the walking stick. Just end to the story again, keeping you updated on the story. One, you talk about the loveliness of Twitter. This next story that went viral, not exactly the nicest side, but I think a lot of it was in good humour. So believe it or not, and I'm pretty surprised at this, people still post holiday photos on Twitter. Not something I'm sure me or you would do, but one of this guy, a guy called Carts T30, posted a photo of him and three mates in a club in Ibiza. Good for him. Now, unfortunately, what happened is some users started taking the mickey out of one of his mates, Carts' mates, who, just to say, an unusual haircut and beard combination. I know I can hardly talk. But unfortunately, again, because I think he was slightly shorter than his friends, someone was saying, like, who's the leprechaun? All this kind of jokingness about it. And to be fair to Carts, he gave as good as he got, in some of the responses. But he did post later on saying the power of social media is actually crazy. How can someone's hair cause a page to blow up so much?
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's got 12 million views.
12 million views.
And I think he was clever. He started verified his page. So again, all the responses from the verified users could generate some income. So it's a clever move by this guy.
Yeah, and he went on to post again another picture of his mate saying, when you're getting violated on Twitter, so you try to pack yourself away. So the content keeps on coming from Carts. Thanks very much. I don't know if your mate's all that happy about it, but it seems like he's at least playing along for now.
Very true. I think it's glad they could have some fun with it. And also having fun this week. You may have seen, you wouldn't have seen, Hannah, because you're not on Twitter. Again, another reason to go back is people were sharing their examples of celebrity encounters, one of these trending topics that people start replying, sometimes with kind of just photos of them with a celeb, which is fine. But this one really caught my eye, and it caught the eye of loads of people. In fact, 12 million views this tweet has got from someone called Casey Vandeventer from LA, who quote tweeted saying, when I was a waitress, Kiefer Sutherland would come in to dine and ask, what's your rent? And then he would write the amount of that person's rent, the waitress's rent, on the tip line of the check. So you have your month's rent paid for by Kiefer Sutherland. How amazing is that?
That's so cool. I love that. Jack Bauer to the rescue as ever. It's just brilliant. So the question was like, what's your best kind of like interaction with a celebrity or something? And obviously the picture, those who are watching on the video feed can see that's actually it's Happy Gilmore, isn't it? Adam Sandler there. But this particular waitress saying she clearly had a couple of run-ins with Kiefer Sutherland. So she also said he also challenged me to a sword fight with baguettes on Vermont Avenue at midnight and let me win. I mean, is there no end to this man's charms? But what a lovely thing to do. And yeah, again, it's just highlighting that in the fickle and silly sometimes world of celebrity and fame and everything like that, you do get some good eggs in there as well.
Oh, indeed. Again, social media, I know you're not on Twitter, Hannah, but every single platform has gone crazy for Taylor Swift and her apparent new boyfriend. I'm not an NFL American football fan, but I'm trying to pronounce his name. Travis Kelce?
It's Kelsey. Yeah.
But he plays for Kansas City Chiefs.
I think he's a big deal. He's a pretty big deal. Maybe not as big as, Taylor Swift, but well, now he is.
Now he is. I mean, documented everything of the photo of her in the box celebrating as he scored.
He got a touchdown, I think, or something like that, didn't he, while she was watching? And so everyone went nuts about it. And it was just like this first time, again, it seems to be this sort of celebrity trend of like announcing your relationship for, on social media or for social media. When you're, who knows, however many months into the relationship, but you just sort of like show up at your girlfriend or your boyfriend's game and kind of like their main cheerleader. I mean, well done them, lucky for them.
It's hard though. Can you imagine if someone Taylor Swift and the in the public eye, you having relationships? I mean, you've seen some of the high profile relationships, but then how else can you want to show your support for your boyfriend at a game, and she wasn't exactly going out of her way to post on social media about it. She's just caught on camera.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in fairness to her, she had a very long-term relationship, which ended whenever it ended in the last year or so, a couple of years. But that was very low key all along. And for all of her fame and notoriety, she that was super low key. This guy is obviously very well known. It's certainly in the US or for NFL fans around the world. So she doesn't really have. She's kind of weighed it all up and gone, we don't really have that much choice. This is going to be in the public domain, so we might as well go all out. But what's lovely about this story is that apparently their relationship was predicted. So Swifties have jumped onto this and they absolutely love it. So a couple, say, predicted this the relationship blossoming and happening back in Halloween of 2020. So Michaela Stevens, she posted on her Instagram, I don't know any world in which Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce would be in the same room together. But apparently in this one, they're married. And it's clearly kind of like, obviously Michaela there for Halloween, like dressed up as Taylor, and her husband dressed up as Travis as well. So that was back in 2020. So 3 years on, the premonition came to reality. It came to be true. So yeah, Swifties, as you say, have like absolutely have found this particular post, jumped on it, and then that's gone viral as well. So goodness knows how Michaela feels about that. I guess she's been asked to predict all sorts of things now.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's great. Just to think now, this is the way of social media that people with different combinations of celebrities can, then go viral years later.
Yeah.
For their dressing up costumes. It's brilliant stuff.
So next on the programme, we're going to talk about what it's like to go viral. And I was very, very lucky this week in that I was out in Vienna with the IAEA, which is the International Atomic Energy Agency, bit of a mouthful, but it's essentially the UN's kind of nuclear watchdog. And whilst I was there, I got to meet a young woman called Isabelle Bemeke. And Isabelle goes by the persona of Isodope. And let's just take a look, because she's quite a big deal in the kind of like the online space at the moment, and she's essentially a nuclear energy influencer. Unlikely kind of like two that you put together, but anyway, a nuclear energy influencer. Take a look at Isodope.
Nuclear energy is clean energy. This is a plant. No, not this one. This one. Most power plants plants make electricity by heating water and creating steam. Nuclear power plants get heat from splitting atoms. This is how it all goes down. This is the reactor's core, where all the craziness happens. In there is the nuclear fuel. Uranium pellets. Roughly the size of gummy bears. Imagine that these aliens with cowboy hats are uranium atoms. Pretend that my head is a neutron. Hi. Neutrons are very sassy. The reactor releases neutrons and they smash into uranium atoms. That makes the atom unstable and it splits into two. This process is called nuclear fission.
So Isabelle was there in Vienna. She was addressing the scientific forum in front of all of these like world leaders, and essentially talking about the best ways to try and communicate. And if you want to try and communicate nuclear energy as a clean energy source and as a complement to renewables out there, then you need to use social media, and she's using it to such great effect at the moment. But what I wanted to know was, how does she cope then? Because obviously she has her persona, she's Isabelle in her personal life, and she's Isodope in her kind of social media life. But how does she cope then with having such a big following online, and then obviously getting to fly all over the world and speak to world leaders as well, through her activism? And this is what Isabelle had to say.
It's kind of a love and hate relationship, because of course I love it goes viral. I love it that a lot of people see it, but you know, inevitably when you get to a certain size or you get to a certain viewership, you start getting the hate comments. And the hate comments can be very challenging to deal with. However, I've accepted that I've embraced a somewhat controversial cause, and it comes with the package, right? You're always going to get hate comments. So I've learned that the best way is to just ignore. And I think that the way I do it now is I just ignore all comments. I post something and I just ignore the comments.
And are those like hate comments that you say, like, is that all about nuclear, or is it's like people who are criticizing you as a person?
Well, it's about nuclear, it's about my style, my aesthetic, it's about criticizing me as a person, it's about all of it, but that's just how it is. And I think if you do anything in life that has any sort of impact, you will have criticism. So you better just get used to it, because it will be a part of the journey.
And could you do, or can you do what you do without social media?
I don't think I could. I mean, definitely the way I do it, absolutely not. I mean, I was born as a social media advocacy effort first. I moved into the real world, but even whenever I did a real grassroots effort, I still counted a lot on social media to get people to attend the rally that I put together and so on. So I wouldn't be able to do it without social media.
Would you do anything differently if you could start again? Because Isodope is your kind of your persona,
right.
And presumably you use that because it enables you a little bit of anonymity in your private life as well. As Isabelle, you can just sort of go around and not be kind of like criticized or attacked or anything like that. But would you do anything different, like if you could go back to the beginning?
Maybe I would do things a little more mainstream.
Wow, mainstream media? No.
Not mainstream media, but a little more, you know, my content is very specific and it's very niche, and I did it for a reason, because I wanted to get people's attention. But maybe I would have done it a little more, you know, normal, so that you can get even more people on board. But, you know, I think it was an artistic choice, and I feel spiritually fulfilled by it, so I'm happy.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much to Isabelle, otherwise known as Isodope, and you have like millions of followers, right? So
not in the millions yet, but hopefully.
Okay, well, millions of views on all of the content and the videos, so check it out, Isodope. All over TikTok, is that your main preferred platform?
Instagram, or X, formerly known as Twitter.
Oh, very on brand with Elon. Well done. Thank you very much.
Wow, she's pretty impressive. We should say Isodope is a play on isotope, isn't it? That's
yeah.
I got that.
Any more of the physics, but yes, it is.
I think it's brilliant. Again, we hear a lot about influencers, and a lot, you know, when you hear the word influencer, you think negatively about them. But this is actually really interesting. You know, there's not too many people who are advocating nuclear power, and certainly not in this way. It must be tricky, because for all the supporters of it, as she explains, there's a lot of critics, and it must be quite tough facing some of those criticisms online.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. But one of the things that I've realised over the last week was that the younger generation, and sadly neither of us fit into that anymore, Tim. Sorry to tell you that. But we're basically ancient and old, and it's the boomers as well, the generation before us who are kind of like, in that kind of like post Hiroshima, etc., kind of anti-nuclear bubble, and it just doesn't exist for the younger generation. They are all about trying to find clean sources of energy and to find carbon-free options and resolutions. And this is it. This is one of them. And they just don't have the same kind of like safety concerns or hang-ups that the rest of us do. They think safety is important. But so from her point of view, she was just like, this is just like such an obvious thing to me, and I just don't get why the policymakers and the leaders and the decision makers of the world are being so slow about this, because it's really obvious and it's a really urgent problem that we need to try and fix, and we've got an answer there. And so I felt really enthused that like you've got these young influencers who are taking up a cause beyond just themselves, having a great time with it as well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, she's also a model, and she's had obviously lots of publicity herself, and kind of presumably had lots of opportunities to address, people on the world stage as a result of her activism. But it's just really empowering, and she was great to me and super generous with her time, and more power to her. Haha.
Very good. I mean, also, does she do all the videos herself? Because they're so well made. The production's really high quality.
She certainly started off doing them all herself. I assume she probably has a bit of, more of a production team around her now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all just her own. Yeah, so she created the persona in order to sort of, I think, protect herself a little bit. But it was just her idea, and it's just so obvious to her. And then when you talk to her, you go, yeah, it is actually really obvious. Maybe I'm just really old.
I learnt a load by watching them.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really, really clever idea. So look out for Isabel, and follow her Isodope on TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, the works. She's all over the place. Yeah.
And finally on the show, it's time for the timeline cleanser, and this one is a classic. So you may have seen, particularly on TikTok, but also on other platforms, seen content creators going up to people while they're shopping in stores. And this guy, a TikToker called Brandon Sloan, he was going up to kids who were there with their parents. And this was in a Target store, like a supermarket style store in the US.
In the US, yeah.
Yeah, and just basically quizzing them and kind of doing games and fun things with them, obviously with their parents' permission. And he stumbled across a young boy called Desmond Benjamin, who has now become a viral star of his own. Let's show you why.
Don't talk in this mic and I'll buy you whatever you want. What's your name?
Desmond Benjamin.
Alright, so you're not supposed to talk in the mic, so I'll give you one more try. Don't talk in this mic, I'll buy you whatever you want. What's your name? How old are you? Alright, you win. What do you want?
Rainbow Manic.
What do you want?
Rainbow Manic.
Alright, let's go get it.
I like these.
These ones right here?
Yeah.
Would you like to take these magnets or double and give it to the next person?
Take these Manics.
If you're following me on TikTok, I'll buy you 2 of these. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
What's my name?
I don't know.
What made you want rainbow magnets?
I like Rainbow Manic and they track together.
You like when they attract together?
Yeah.
Great fun. I mean, actually, my daughter loves like similar things with different color magnets. She makes shapes out of them, so I can see why he wanted them. But anyway, Desmond has, as I said, become a celebrity in his own right. The videos and photos posted online of him locally meeting, I think, local sports teams and all wanting a photo with him. And he's gone on to do other videos with Brandon off the back of this popularity. In fact, his mum has even created her own TikTok, which is Mrs. 100 Bills. Not sure that's the charge per video or whatever, but great fun. And so they're back and they're doing this video again. This recent has now got 10 million views. Let's show you a clip of it.
Anything you could draw in 7 seconds, I'll buy for you. And start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. What'd you draw?
Dumpster truck.
What is it?
Dumpster truck.
Is this the one you want right here?
Yeah.
Let's get it. Oh, what's your name?
Desmond Benjamin.
Desmond what?
Desmond Benjamin.
You like garbage trucks?
Yeah.
What's your favorite garbage truck?
Every single kind of garbage truck. I'm faster than you.
So what made you pick a garbage truck?
Hi, Daddy.
Does he like garbage trucks?
Yeah.
Is that true? Do you like garbage trucks?
Nah,
So why do you say that?
I have no idea.
I mean, it's not the first time that we've featured a cute kid as our timeline cleanser. It obviously goes to show where our mental heads are at the moment. Emotionally. Bring back the cute children. But yeah, wonderful stuff from Desmond. Wonderful stuff from his mum as well. Mrs. What did you say? Mrs. 100 bills. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe 100 bills that she needs to pay or something like that. And she's using hers.
And we all, don't we all?
Get it all paid. Exactly. I'm just like, my brain's whizzing thinking, how can I monetize my child? How can I monetize my child? But yeah, lovely stuff. And it's just soothing, isn't it?
It is, and I like it. It's the kind of thing. A lot of these videos don't really work. These kind of going up to people, random people in shops, and what Brandon's done is just stumbled across an absolute gem, viral kid, and it's just brilliant fun. And we need this kind of stuff, especially when you've got so much doom and gloom on our feeds when scrolling through, and it's just great fun, and that's what we need. Like this show, a bit of joy in our lives. Hopefully, anyway. That's the end of this week's show. We'll be posting highlights of the clips that we featured, along with the links to the content creators, so you can follow them. If you've got any questions or any ideas, anything you've seen this week we think we should cover, do email us sorryyouwentviral@gmail.com and follow us on our socials. Just search for Sorry You Went Viral, and we'll be back next week. See you then.
Thanks all.